إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن نبينا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. أما بعد، أرحب بكم جميعا وأرجو أن تكونوا بخير وفي صحة وعافية أنتم وذويكم ومن تحبون. Once again, I welcome all of you and I hope that you are all well and your loved ones, your family members. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us all. Ameen. We continue inshallah ta'ala these classes preparing for the upcoming of this noble month and guest, the month of Ramadan. Still here at Masjid ibad-ur-rahman in Marietta, Georgia. This is the 7th class, reading from Kitab al-Siyam, the book of fasting, from Ash-Sharh al-Mumti', from the book that is called Ash-Sharh al-Mumti' by our noble Shaykh al-Allama Muhammad ibn Salih ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah ta'ala. وقفنا في الدرس الماضي عند أحكام المريض والمسافر في رمضان وأنهما مخيران. In the last class we stopped at the points when the Shaykh was explaining the rulings pertaining to the sick person and the traveler in Ramadan. And the Shaykh says that they are given a choice to fast or not to fast. Okay, these are the sick person or the traveler. قال وأيهما أفضل للمريض والمسافر أن يصوم أو يفطر. Now we'll continue. The Shaykh al-Uthaymeen, he bring a question. Usually the Shaykh bring questions because when you bring a question, people pay attention and they want to learn, they want to know the answer. That's one of the great ways of teaching, through questions and answers. Then the Shaykh says, and what is better actually for the sick person and the traveler? What is better for them? Because he says they are given a choice. And that does not include the person who's sick with the chronic illness. This is like the person who just got sick in Ramadan. What is better for them, to fast or not? قال نقول الأفضل أن يفعل الأيسر. The Shaykh said we say that they should choose what's easy for them. They should choose what's easy for them. فإن كان في الصوم ضرر كان الصوم حراما. He says, but keep in mind now, they're given a choice, but if fasting will result in harm for them, then it becomes haram for them to fast. And remember, he brought the ayah in Surah An-Nisa, وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ بِكُمْ رَحِيمًا, and do not kill yourselves, for indeed Allah is merciful to you. And we mentioned from before that the Shaykh explained that this ayah here, even though it talks about killing, do not kill yourselves, and some of the people they say, well, if a person fasts, he's not going to die. He's going to get some harm here and there. The Shaykh says this ayah is general. Yes, it is. Yes, about killing, a person should not kill himself, but also a person should not do anything that harm him, even if it does not kill him. And remember, we mentioned a hadith, right? The hadith of what companion? Amr ibn al-As. He was the Amir and the leader of an expedition. Prophet ﷺ, he sent him as a leader over an expedition. Prophet ﷺ sent him over as a leader over an expedition, and one night, it was very cold night, he has a janaba, and usually when a person has janaba should take a shower. Wudu is no longer enough. However, this noble companion, he made tayammum. He didn't take ghusl because it was very cold. It was very cold. So he made tayammum and lead the companion in salat because he was the imam, the leader. The amir, he's the one who lead the salat, unless if he asks someone from the people to lead the salat. So the people, they kind of like think about it, the companions, when they came to the Prophet ﷺ, they told him. So when the Prophet ﷺ asked him, he said, Sallayta bihim? Did you pray with them and you made only tayammum? He says, yes. He said, yes, I remember the statement of Allah, and he mentioned this ayah, do not kill yourselves. And it was a very cold night. But Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen says, usually, if someone take a shower with even a cold water in a cold night, is he going to die? Usually. I'm asking you. No. But if someone is shot with a bullet in the head, usually die or not? Usually die. He may not die. But usually, we know that that person is going to die. But usually when a person take a cold shower, what could happen to a person that take cold shower in a cold night? What's going to happen to him? Hypothermia. Huh? Hypothermia. He get a hypothermia. Okay, he get cold, start sneezing, right? Usually. Some people doesn't happen to them because they're used to that. Okay? Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen says the Prophet ﷺ, he agreed with Amr ibn al-As. He didn't tell him, no, you can't use that ayah. Which means the Shaykh says, yes, anything that does not kill you but harm you, it's haram. Anything. قال فإذا نقول إذا كان الصوم يضر المريض كان الصوم حراما عليه. The Shaykh said, there is a person who's sick but he wants to fast. But then fasting becomes harmful to him. He's harming his health. He said, we say that fasting in this case is not permissible for that person. Haram. فإذا قال قائل ما مقياس الضرر. Now the Shaykh says, he brings another question. So, what if a person say, what level of harm that make it haram? What level of harm? That if a person fast, person sick and fast, and now he see that fasting is harming his body, what level of harm that make it impermissible for him to fast? قال قلنا إن الضرر يعلم بالحس ويعلم بالخبر. He says this level of harm that make a person immediately not fast, he know it himself by feeling it, or by being informed. By feeling or by being informed. أما بالحس فأن يشعر المريض بنفسه أن الصوم يضره ويثير عليه الأوجاع ويوجب تأخر البرء وما أشبه ذلك. As for by feelings, because himself, his body, that's his body. He knew that when he start fasting, he has harm, he see it, pain. Okay, he has pain now. Now his cure is delayed. Instead of recovering, now he's taking setbacks. Okay? And the like. وأما الخبر فأن يخبره طبيب عالم ثقة بذلك بأنه يضره. As for by being informed, when a trustworthy doctor informed him, he says, no, your fasting is not good for you. I know you're a Muslim, you want to fast, but not this year, or not actually today, or 3 days. Okay? Some people, they made doctor tell them, no, don't fast the first 3 days and we'll see. Take the medicine and take care of yourself, recover, and we'll see from then. Some the doctor tell them, take 1 week, okay? 1 week, you have to, no. You need fluids, you need to eat, you need take your medication, whatever you're doing. So, فإن أخبره عامي ليس بطبيب فلا يأخذ بقوله. Now he says, if he was informed by a person, just a regular person, he's not a doctor, told him, oh no, don't fast, buddy, fast, bad for you. He shouldn't take that in consideration. And that's happened sometimes. Sometimes you want to fast, you have cold or something, and then you feel like you want to fast, but then people in your family, parents, grandparents, aunties, oh no, look at you, don't fast. Don't listen to them. Because they don't know, they're not doctors. They don't feel what you feel. So you're the one that feel that, mashallah, you can fast. Okay. وكذلك وإن أخبره طبيب غير عالم ولكنه متطبب فلا يأخذ بقوله وإن أخبره طبيب غير ثقة فلا يأخذ بقوله. Likewise, if he was informed by untrustworthy doctor, the doctor has a lot of problems. People complain about this doctor. People, they says, man, this doctor, a lot of people went through a lot of hardship when they go to this doctor. Then he doesn't take in consideration those statements of that doctor because he's not trustworthy doctor. قال الشيخ وهل يشترط أن يكون الطبيب مسلما لكي نثق به لأن غير المسلم عادة لا يثق. Now the Sheikh brought another question. He says this doctor that we're supposed to take his advice when he says no, can't fast, it's harmful for you. This trustworthy doctor, is it a condition that he has to be Muslim? Is it that meaning, can you go to a non-Muslim doctor and you ask him this question, said, look, you see I'm sick, tomorrow is Ramadan, tomorrow it may be Ramadan, and are you familiar with fasting? And he may say, yeah, like you don't eat or drink anything, right? For a long time, yes. And you tell them, you explain to them, and he will say, yeah, you don't fast. But he's not Muslim. Can you take it? Or say, nah, he's not Muslim. What does he know? قال الشيخ فيه قولان لأهل العلم والصحيح أنه لا يشترط. Sheikh said there is two statements of the people of knowledge, meaning those who they say it's okay, those who say it's not. It's a condition, those who say it's not a condition that the doctor has to be a Muslim. He says, and the sound opinion, Shaykh Mu'tamim says, وَالصَّحِيحِ أَنَّهُ لَا يُشْتَرَطْ. He says, and the sound opinion is that it is not a condition for the doctor to be a Muslim. As long as he's a trustworthy doctor, he knows what he's doing. قال وأننا متى وثقنا بقوله عملنا بقوله في إسقاط الصيام لأن هذه الأشياء صنعته. Says as long as he's trustworthy, he knows what he's doing, because that's his field. He's a doctor, he knows these things. Okay, so in this case, a doctor, we're talking about like a medical doctor, not a doctor in engineering or a doctor in IT, because there is the doctors because they have a doctorate, PhD, right? But we usually, when we hear doctor, usually we think of the medical doctor, okay? But in case if somebody has PhD in engineering and tell you, I have PhD, don't fast. You tell them, no, this is not about engineering, this is about something else. You know, you have engineering and mechanical engineering, electrical engineering. What this has to do with me? I'm a human being. But here the doctor, meaning the medical doctor, okay? And then the Shaykh says something. He says, وَقَدْ يُحَافِظُ الْكَافِرُ عَلَى صِنْعَتِهِ وَسُمْعَتِهِ فَلَا يَقُولُ إِلَّا مَا كَانَ حَقًّا فِي اعْتِقَادِهِ. He says, look, this doctor, yeah, he's non-Muslim, but he's going to abide by the rules and the regulations of the profession. He ain't going to tell you anything because you're a Muslim. No. These people, before they speak or say anything, they want to make sure to tell you the proper information because they want to cover themselves first. Okay? والنبي صلى الله عليه وسلم وثق بكافر في أعظم الحالات خطرا. And look, the Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen, he gave an example for those people who say, come on, how are we going to trust a kafir? Come on, a kafir doctor tell me don't fast and I'm going to go and don't fast? Nah, I can't do that. We cannot trust a kafir. He said, look, the Prophet ﷺ, he trusted a disbeliever in one of the most dangerous situations. وذلك حين هاجر النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم من مكة إلى المدينة استأجر رجلا من بني الديل يقال له عبد الله بن أريقط ليدله على الطريق. Listen now, the Prophet ﷺ, when he made a hijrah from Mecca to Al-Madinah, and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was with him, just him and Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. But when they left, and then on the daytime, people of Quraysh, they knew that the Prophet ﷺ left and Abu Bakr, so they were looking for them. They even make a nice gift or whatever. What is it called? A gift? Bounty. Yeah, the bounty. Nice amount of money and animals, camels, for anyone who catch the Prophet ﷺ and Abu Bakr. But the Prophet ﷺ, he did not know the road, the path, because that's from Mecca to Medina, that's 492 kilometers. That's only on a highway, brothers. But on desert and go around the mountains and the valleys, that's gonna make it even more. It's only on a straight highways, 492 kilometers. Okay, that's a long way. So the Prophet ﷺ, he hired this man who was not a Muslim, he was a disbeliever. His name Abdullah ibn Urayqid, because he knows the ways. Some people are like that, they know how to go here and there. So the Prophet ﷺ hired him, for money. He gave him some money, and so that he can show them the way from Mecca to Al-Madinah. ولكن الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كان واثقا منه فدل هذا على أن المشرك إذا وثقنا منه فإننا نأخذ بقوله. But the Shaykh al-Uthaymeen rahimahullah says, but the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he trusted this man who was not a Muslim. He wasn't a Muslim at that time, but the Prophet ﷺ trusted him, and he led them in the way and showed them the way. He says, so we take from this, if a non-Muslim will trust him in anything, it's okay. That's why it's okay for a non-Muslim to do some work for you, to work for you. It's okay. مسألة: هل الأولى للمسافر أن يصوم أو الأولى أن لا يصوم? Now we came to another مسألة of the traveler. The person who's traveling in the month of Ramadan. What is better for him, to fast or better for him not to fast? الجواب, the answer: أما مذهب الحنابلة فالأولى أن لا يصوم بل كره الصوم للمسافر. He says the Hanbali madhab and fiqh school, they see that what is better for the traveler is not to fast. You're traveling, don't fast. They say that's better for you not to fast. They even say that it is disliked for a traveler to fast on a journey. وقال الشافعية, and the Shafi'is, those who follow the school of thought of Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, they says الأولى أن يصوم, the opposite. They says actually it's better for him to fast. The traveler is better for him to fast. الأولى أن يصوم. That's what the Shafi'i says. وقال آخرون, others, they say إنه على التخيير لا نفضل الفطر ولا الصوم. Other ulama, they mention the traveler is given a choice. He does what's easy for him. If he fasts, alhamdulillah. If he chooses not to fast, still okay. والصحيح التفصيل في هذا. Shaykh al-Uthaymeen says, but the correct and sound opinion is based on certain details. What should he do, the traveler, to fast or not to fast, based on this. وهو أنه إذا كان الفطر والصيام سواء فالصيام أولى لوجوه أربعة. Now if a person fasting or not fasting is the same to him. It's like when he's not traveling. When he's not traveling, alhamdulillah, he fasts, no problem. While he's traveling, same thing. He's comfortable. He's traveling in his car, in a plane, whatever. He says, the Shaykh says, no, we say that fasting is better for him for 4 reasons. Remember, it's not obligatory. If the traveler choose not to fast, it's okay. But the Sheikh we say, if that fasting while or on a journey does not present any complication or harm or nothing, we say it's better for him to fast for 4 reasons. Number 1, أن ذلك فعل الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في حديث أبي الدرداء رضي الله عنه. Because this is from the action of the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, meaning that the Prophet he fasted while on a journey, as he came in the hadith of Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, that is in Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. قال كنا مع النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في يوم شديد الحر حتى إن أحدنا لا يضع يده على رأسه من شدة الحر وما فينا صائم إلا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم وعبد الله بن رواحة رضي الله عنه. Abu Darda radiallahu anhu, he says, we were with the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, companions, traveling, and it was a long day. It was a very, very hot that day. Very hot. Very hot. Huh? Very hot day. So much so, he was so much hot, he said that we don't have nothing to cover our heads and our bodies from the sun. One of us will just put his hand on his head to protect himself from this extreme heat. SubhanAllah. He says, no one was fasting. That was in Ramadan. He says, no one was fasting except the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abdullah ibn Rawaha. They're the only one that was fasting. All the other, they didn't fast. الثاني أنه أسرع في إبراء الذمة. The second reason why the Shaykh said it's better for the fasting person, the traveling person, to fast instead of opting for the other option. He says because, alhamdulillah, you don't have to worry about it later on. You already fasted, alhamdulillah. Because now those who choose not to fast, now they have to make it up. But this one, he doesn't have to make it up. الثالث أنه أيسر على المكلف وما كان أيسر فهو أولى. And the third reason, because since it is easy, it doesn't bring complication and hardship, then do what is easy for you to do. الرابع أنه يصادف صيامه رمضان ورمضان أفضل من غيره وعلى هذا نقول الأفضل الصوم. The fourth reason, he says, remember, he's in Ramadan. Fasting in the month of Ramadan has more virtues than making up the days outside of this noble month of Ramadan. So based on this, we say it's better for him to fast, the traveler. Better for him, not have to. وإذا كان يشق عليه الصوم فالفطر أولى. Now the Shaykh is still bringing these points, alhamdulillah, and these details in this matter. He says, now, if a person who is traveling fasts, but with difficulty, now, fasting results into difficulty, we say to him, it's better for him to not to fast. Because now, it's difficult. When he was fasting at home, he was okay. Now on a journey, now it's difficult upon him. He's fasting with difficulty. We say, you have a concession. You have a permit from Allah. Use it. Don't put yourself in this difficult situation and break the fast. والدليل ماذا? Where is the proof? أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كان صائما في سفر. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was fasting. In one of the journeys, he was fasting. ولم يفطر إلا حين قيل له أن الناس قد شق عليهم الصيام وينتظرون ما ستفعل ولم يفطروا يريدون التأسي بالرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was fasting on a journey, and he was told, somebody told the Prophet ﷺ, he says, the people, the companions that were with him, and they fasting, they going through some difficulty. It's difficult for them to fast while on this journey. And they didn't want to break the fast because they following you. They say, hey, the Messenger of Allah is still fasting, we're fasting, but it's difficult upon them. ماذا فعل الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم? What did Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم said? What did he do? فدعا الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم بقدح من الماء بعد العصر وفي رواية قريب المغرب. على فخذه حتى رآه الناس فشرب والناس ينظرون إليه ليقتدوا به. So the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, after Asr now, there is not much for Maghrib, but since people are going through difficulty, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, they pour some water for him in a cup, and the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم put it on his thigh, because he was mountain riding, so that everybody can see it. Okay, he was mounted on his camel, and then he drank it. He didn't say, "Now let him be patient. We have few moments to Maghrib." No, Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم, he broke his fast so that the people can see him, and they saw him. And some break the fast, but actually others they didn't. They continue fasting. فقيل له إن بعض الناس قد صام. After that, he was told that some people actually they fasted anyway. They completed fasting. The Prophet ﷺ, he says, أولئك العصاة أولئك العصاة. Those are the disobedient ones. Those are the disobedient ones. SubhanAllah. لماذا؟ لأنهم صاموا مع المشقة ولأنهم خالفوا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم حيث أفطر وبقوهم صياما. Why they are disobedient? Because they continue fasting with difficulty, and with that they oppose the Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم. The Messenger صلى الله عليه وسلم, he was fasting, but he did it for them, and they still didn't follow him, and they continue to fast. Another detail now. قال وإن كانت المشقة شديدة يخشى منها الضرر فالصوم حرام لقوله تعالى ولا تقتلوا أنفسكم. Now, another detail here in this matter. Now, if that hardship or difficulty is extreme, so much so that if a person fasts or continue fasting will result in a harm, now fasting become haram. That person should break his fast, because Allah says وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ, do not kill yourselves. And we learned from before, Shaykh al-Uthaymeen says this ayah is applied also in other things that are lesser than killing oneself. Anything that harmful, person should stay away from it. قال وأما قول الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ليس من البر الصوم في السفر الذي استدل به الحنابلة. Now, some of the ulama, especially from the school of thought of Hanbali school of thought, they use a hadith when the Prophet ﷺ said it is not from good, it's not a good thing, or not from piety to fast while on a journey. They use it. The Prophet ﷺ, Shaykh al-Uthaymeen says هذا خاص بالرجل الذي رآه النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم قد ضلل عليه والناس حوله. So that actually this hadith here is pertaining to one man that the Prophet ﷺ, he saw that the companions, some of the companions, they were around this man and fanning him and tried to provide shade for him from the extreme heat. Prophet ﷺ said, ما هذا? He said, what is this? فقالوا هذا صائم. They said, this man that we are fanning him and providing, he can't even walk, can't even take care of himself. Prophet, they said he's fasting, that's why he's in there. We're on a journey and he's fasting, now he can't even move. Prophet said ليس من البر الصوم. So it's not a good thing to fast while on a journey, meaning if it leads to this. If it leads you to this, you don't, you leave it alone. No. طيب. All of this was in the fourth condition, al-muqim. Remember, the Shaykh, he mentioned there is conditions. There is conditions that have to be met for a person to be obliged to fast. Okay? To fast. Number one, what was it? He has to be Muslim. Number two, عاقل مكلف عاقل كذا. ثالثا قادر, being able. رابعا مقيم, not traveling. and خامسا الشرط الخامس الخلو من الموانع وهذا خاص بالنساء. And this the fifth condition is for women, not for men, which is it's about menses and postnatal bleeding. الحائض لا يلزمها الصوم وكذلك النفساء. If a woman is in her menses, menstrual menses, she does not fast. It's not even permissible for her to fast until her cycle comes to an end. Likewise, a woman that she's on her postnatal bleeding after giving birth, it's not permissible for her to fast. Even if she feels like I can, no, she can't. She should not fast. وذلك لقول النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم كما في صحيح البخاري أليس إذا حاضت لم تصلي ولم تصم. From the hadith, the Prophet mentioned that the woman, when she's in her menses, she does not pray and she does not fast. Likewise, the woman in her menses, she does not pray. Period. She does not make the prayers, but she make up the days of Ramadan. فلا يلزمها الصوم إجماعا ولا يصح منها إجماعا ويلزمها قضاؤه إجماعا فهذه ثلاث إجماعات والنفساء كالحائض في هذا. So there is three consensus of the ulama, three rulings that the scholars have a consensus on when it comes to these women, the mensing women and the women on their postnatal bleeding. The first consensus, that it is not upon them to fast. The second consensus, if they choose to fast, it is not sound, it's not correct. And the third consensus, they make up the same exact days that they didn't fast from Ramadan. ثم ننتقل إلى نقطة أخرى. And we will move to another point. We finish this point of the traveler. وإذا قامت البينة في أثناء النهار وجب الإمساك والقضاء على كل من صار في أثنائه أهلا لوجوبه. Now here in the matn of Zad al-Mustaqna, it says that these are people who they did not know that Ramadan started. They didn't know. Some people, they went and sight the moon. No moon. Okay, alhamdulillah, we're going to complete Sha'ban, 30 days. So the next day is 30. For them is the 30. But then during the day they were informed. During the day they were informed, actually, no, it was sighted. Actually, it was sighted. Especially in the times when the information doesn't travel fast. Now, in this time with the technology and the Wi-Fi and all of these things, subhanAllah, the information, if, for example, in Saudi Arabia, if the moon is sighted, the entire world know about it. I don't know about the moon, but the entire dunya know about it. Right or wrong? Huh? Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. As soon as the government over there, they put it on their Twitter, Thabata, the sighting, Naam, took place, and tomorrow is the first of Ramadan. As soon as they click it in here, somebody in Japan is clicking it over there too. Just like that. And everybody know about it. But before this time of the technology and Before the Wi-Fi and the internet, people, they used to know it through what? Through the television and through the radio stations. The government make announcement, but if somebody didn't hear it, he missed it. They make one announcement, and that's it. You hear it or not, that's another problem. Okay? Or they used to have somebody going through the streets and say, oh, the moon was sighted, the moon. If you were asleep, you didn't hear it. So anyway, I'm just telling you this to understand this point. This point is about certain people. They get up in the morning, they eat up some breakfast, then by Dhuhr time or after Dhuhr, somebody tell them, well, you guys, what are you doing? You're not fasting? They says, no, tomorrow. It's like, not tomorrow, it's today. Says who? Yeah, the moon was sighted. We didn't know. So what these people should do? That's what this point is about. Inshallah. What you want to say?
Maybe.
That's what this point is about. Okay? Also, including in this point is another issue that we'll mention it when we get to it, so I don't want you to get confused, okay? Just remember now, what we're going to study is about people did not know that that day was Ramadan. They thought, no, tomorrow is Ramadan, the beginning of Ramadan. But then somebody told them, no, actually, everybody's fasting except you guys. What happened? They said, we didn't know, nobody told us. Okay, well, now they are informed what they're supposed to do. No. وقوله وجب الإمساك. So the Shaykh in the Zad al-Mustaqna, he said they have to stop at that moment, eating and drink, and start fasting at that moment. It's like at Dhuhr time, they already ate breakfast, they planning for lunch. Come with me for lunch, inshallah, after Salat, okay? Then right after the Salat, the Imam make announcement, says, Muslims, it was brought to my attention from trustworthy sources that actually Ramadan is today. We didn't know. So now you already are Abu Ibad-ur-Rahman, you invite us, Ridwanullah, to some biryani. What do we do now? You say, hey, I don't know, brother Imam. Why you tell us stuff like this? Come on, brother. It's okay. We decide we're gonna fast tomorrow. Listen, the Shaykh here in his book Zad al-Mustaqna, he said they have to start fasting at that moment, meaning don't eat nothing or drink anything from that moment on until Maghrib. ودليل ذلك أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حين أمر الناس بصيام عاشوراء في أثناء اليوم أمسكوا في حينه. He says one of the proofs is that when the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم commanded the companions to fast in Ashura, at that moment because he commanded them to fast in the daytime, then immediately they give up everything else and they fasted until Maghrib. And that's in the beginning when fasting Ashura was an obligation. Before the Ramadan was made obligatory, actually Ashura was an obligation. But then later on Ashura, fasting the day of Ashura, which is the 10th of Muharram, it was made a sunnah. وكذلك لأنه ثبت أن هذا اليوم من رمضان فوجب إمساكه. Likewise, these people who they already had breakfast, planning for lunch, or maybe they already ate lunch, and then somebody informed them. He says, now since they are informed that this is the first day of Ramadan, then they should not eat, because you shouldn't be eating in the daylight, in the day of Ramadan. قال وعليهم القضاء أي يلزم قضاء ذلك اليوم لإقامة البينة في أثنائه أنه من رمضان. Not only he says these people who did not know about Ramadan until somebody told them, that immediately at the moment when they are informed, immediately they should abstain from food and drinks and everything that usually break the fast until Maghrib. And he says also they have to make up that day. Okay? ووجه ذلك أن من شرط صحة الصيام الفرد أن تستوعب النية جميع النهار فتكون من قبل الفجر. He said, why? Why? He said, we say to them that you have to make up that day. He says, because to fast, you have to fast the entire day. You don't fast part of the day. When you fast on Monday, you don't fast a few, like a part of the day from the days of Ramadan. You have to fast. And you have to have intention before Fajr. See, when it comes to fasting in Ramadan and the obligatory fast in general, then the intention has to be before Fajr. Unlike fasting the supererogatory fast, like fasting Mondays and Thursdays, if a person get up, for example, for Monday, let's say this coming Monday, which is not from Ramadan, still in Rajab, a person get up in the morning, after Fajr, go home, go to work, and then by 9 a.m., he's like, oh, today is Monday, I'm just going to go ahead and fast. He can do that. With one condition, what is it? Huh? No, that he didn't do anything before that moment. He didn't eat anything, didn't drink anything, didn't do anything from the thing that usually break the fast. But for a obligatory fast, you can't do that. The intention has to be from before Fajr, because the fast has to be from Fajr until sunset. قال والنية هنا كانت من أثناء النهار فلم يصوموا يوما كاملا. He says here, these people, they did not fast the complete day. Because when they start the intention to fast, when? At Dhuhr time. But usually to fast in Ramadan, you have to start at right before Fajr. Before Fajr, you have the intention to fast. Not after Fajr, not after sunrise. قال ووجوب القضاء في هذه المسألة أي ما إذا قامت البينة أثناء النهار هو قول عامة العلماء. Remember now the Shaykh al-Azaymin in here, he bring you what the Shaykh said in the book Zad al-Mustaqna, and then he will bring you other discussions, and then he will tell you what is the sound opinion. What is the sound opinion? He says the fact that those people who were informed during the day that today is Ramadan, after they have already eaten, they didn't have the intention before Fajr. Rather, they didn't have the intention not to fast because they said that was the 30th of Shaban. And they say that they have to make up that day. He says this is actually the opinion of the majority of the scholars. Majority of the scholars, they says they have to make up that day. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah says يلزمهم الإمساك ولا يلزمهم القضاء. But Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he agreed with them, with this majority of the scholars, said nah, once they were informed that today was the day of Ramadan, they should refrain from anything and start fasting and complete the day as a fasting person. He says, but they don't have to make up that day. They don't have to. ووجه ذلك أن أكلهم وشربهم قبل قيام البينة كان مباحا قد أحله الله لهم فلم ينتهكوا حرمة الشهر بل كانوا جاهلين بنوا على أصل وهو بقاء شعبان. He says because them, when they ate at that morning of that day, they didn't know. They didn't do it because they didn't want to fast. They didn't know. Actually, they were following the Sunnah when when themselves they didn't see the moon and nobody informed them that the moon was sighted of Ramadan, they just followed the Sunnah by completing Sha'ban 30 days. But then somebody told them that, so they didn't do it on purpose. It's not like they knew and they didn't want to fast. That's why he says. قال فهم كمن كان ظانا بقاء الليل فتبين أنه الفجر قد طلع أو أكل ظانا غروب الشمس فتبين أنها لم تغرب. He said their example is like the example of someone who was eating suhoor, taking the suhoor meal at night. But then as that person eating, somebody come and say, hey, what you doing, man? Fajr was like 5 minutes ago. Fajr is already in. But that person, he did not know that Fajr is in. He looks outside, it's still dark, alhamdulillah, he's still eating. The ulama, they said there is nothing against this person, because he didn't know that the Fajr is in. He didn't hear the adhan. Nobody around him told him it's Fajr time. Actually, he saw that it's still dark. Likewise, he says their example is the example of the other people who they were waiting for sunset, and all of a sudden it got very dark. They got very dark, and they thought, what? It's Maghrib. Sometimes, especially on times when there is no clocks, no watches. Now there is watches, now you can use that. You guys are like, oh, it's a storm, rain, and you're like, oh, it's dark. Bismillah, bring what is the date? Alhamdulillah, we have times now. Maghrib is at 8 p.m., and then it got dark at 6:45. Your brother, look at your watch, okay? So the Shaykh is just like those. They look and they say, oh, it's dark. Alhamdulillah, it's Maghrib, it's night already. And after they ate, it clears out and the sun's still over there. Huh? He said, because they didn't know. They thought it was night. Alright? And this happened actually in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. On the authority of Asma bint Abu Bakr radiallahu anhuma in Sahih al-Bukhari. Asma, the daughter of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhuma, the sister of Aisha radiallahu anha, as in Sahih al-Bukhari, she said, أفطرنا في يوم غيم على عهد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم ثم طلعت الشمس ولم ينقل أنهم أمروا بالقضاء. She says, one day, the Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم still amongst them, still alive. She said, one day, it was cloudy, dark, and we broke the fast. We thought it was Maghrib. She said, but then the sun appears again. She said, they mentioned that to the Prophet ﷺ, but he didn't command them to make up that day. Inshallah, we have still like some points to mention, but it's time for the adhan. What we're going to do, we're going to leave this for tomorrow, inshallah. We're going to continue this point, inshallah ta'ala, from inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan, barakallahu fikum. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallama tasliman kathira.